Howdy, y'all. This is Proverbs 5 in the RSV for December 5th, 2023. My son, be attentive to my wisdom, incline your ear to my understanding, that you may keep discretion, and your lips may guard knowledge. For the lips of a loose woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is as bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps follow the path to Sheol. She does not take heed the path of life. Her ways wander, and she does not know it. And now, O sons, listen to me, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Keep your way far from her, and do not go near the door of her house, lest you give honor to others, lest you give your honor to others, and your years to the merciless. Lest strangers take their fill of your strength, and your labors go to the house of an alien. At the end of life, you groan, when your flesh and body are consumed, and you say, how I hated discipline, and my heart despised reproof. I did not listen to the voice of my teachers, or incline my ear to my instructors. I was at the point of utter ruin in the assembled congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, flowing water from your own well. Should your springs be scattered abroad, streams of water in the streets? Let them be for yourself alone, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of your youth, a lovely hind, a graceful doe. Let her affection fill you at all times with delight. Be infatuated always with her love. Why should you be infatuated, my son, with a loose woman, and embrace the bosom of an adventuress? For a man's ways are before the eyes of the Lord, and he watches all his paths. The iniquities of the wicked ensnare him, and he's caught in the toils of his sin. He dies for lack of discipline, and because of his great folly, he is lost. So, I speak all the time about raising boys. I imagine raising girls is a whole nother set of difficulties, but boys were naturally conquerors, right? I don't want to say we're naturally promiscuous, but our nature leads us towards that in a permissive society. And I watch a lot of different podcasts and shows and things like that. And one thing I often see, not trying to pick on anybody here, but just plain fact, the OnlyFans girls, they're these girls. They don't even know that they're on the wrong path, right? Because they're currently getting a little bit of glory and maybe some money, definitely some attention. And that's validating them. But they don't even realize, like, oh, snap, there's no future in this. My assets are depreciating. My spending is the same or going up. I'm not going to have enough money to keep living the way that I want. And that's the pragmatic part. Imagine the other side of this, right? At the end of your life, where is it? When your flesh and your body are consumed, when you're old, when you're decrepit, when you're starting to fall into disrepair, you're not the beautiful OnlyFans model you once were, even if you are in your head, right? But basically, you've got somebody in public in utter ruin. Don't get me wrong. I love you, ladies. And I appreciate the fair sex. But I can only come at this from my perspective, right? And I don't know that there is really a defense for acting that way, save for ignorance, right? You don't know that you're on your way to hell. You don't know that you're on the path of death. You don't know that there's a better way. Let's just say that this isn't right. There's a better way. It's our job to tell them. It's our job to tell them and to talk to people about these problems and the dudes who are consuming this content, but not in a condemnational, finger-wagging kind of way. You need to plumb the depths of people's hearts, find out what's really going on. Behavior is often a symptom of what goes on underneath, right? That even goes in leadership and discipline. It's like my kid was obviously tired last night. I think he was over hungry. He was losing his little mind. He was throwing a fit. not appropriate for his age. And it stirs me up, and I want to get louder and harsher. But at some point, I was able to take a breath and think, like, this is not my kid, right? This is a symptom of something going on. So I did get him to calm down and talk to me, but it's like you can't always fight fire with fire. Can't go into a hot situation hot. You know, these ladies and the people buying the content, they're defensive for one way or another. Either they feel in their heart it's wrong and they're proceeding anyway, or no one's ever challenged them and told them it's wrong before. And in our culture of my truth and relativism, it shocks people. Be a shock this holiday season. And be a shock for good. Confront people in love, not anger. Go with God. Be blessed.